Welcome back to another Morning Brews premiere. Unfortunately, Ben is still unwell and we still hope he gets better soon. Today's show, Tottenham in Europe. We won. And Johan Lounge's comments, Solanke in England, Madison not. Stay tuned here. Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good night. I thought I'd switch your little way up a little bit. But anyway, welcome back to Morning Brews premiere. Obviously, another premiere. You know why? I said it at the beginning. And joining me today is the one and only Mr. Beautiful, Mr. Fantastic, Brian Dagul. How are we, sir?
Well, it's the first time I've been called beautiful by anyone apart from my wife. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Let's put
Exactly.
it that way.
Exactly.
I will say, yeah, no, things are good. I have to say that music, the intro music, is exactly what you need to hear first thing in the morning. It's lovely, but it's good to be here with you again. Unfortunately, it's because Ben's unwell and we wish him better. But it's always good to spend time with you and every morning brewer watching.
Yes, and thank you to everyone this yesterday morning who joined in. Honestly, it was fantastic to see you all in the comments, and you know what I mean. I was joining in as best I can, and it was great. It was great seeing you there. So I hope again when I'm up in the morning checking them comments, I see you all in there again. But let's get on. Let's get on to the chat. Let's start off with smiles on our faces because this here, lovely. Spurs versus
Ferencvaros.
Ferencvaros, yeah. I can't say. I'm useless at it. But Ferencvaros, 2-1 Spurs. And for me, we won't go too far into it because we know you are going to do Andrew management later on, 12 p.m. UK time.
Correct.
So we'll just do a quick gloss over it. Spurs win 2-1. Goal scorers in Brennan Johnson and Papa Matasar. We conceded a very stupid goal to concede, but a very well-taken goal from themselves. And it was a tough game. But again, we had a lot of kids out. I think some really performed well. I thought Mikey Moore was fantastic. Personally, I know a lot of people are giving man of the match. For me, it was Archie Gray. Young kid, played out of position twice throughout that game. And majority of the game left on his own. Verma did not track back whatsoever to help him out. Ben Davis was shaky at times, but still did very well. But yeah, for me, I thought Archie Gray was great. What was your take on the game? Just a quick gloss over it, because I know you're going to have a full breakdown with Johnny.
Well, I say you saw that team selection. And I said, well, you go big or you go bold. And Anne just turned around and said, well, why not both, mate? Because bloody hell. I mean, the defense, we kind of knew it was just kind of where, who slotted in where. The midfield took care of itself. But that front line, wow. That front line, and I'm talking the 2/3, wow. And 1/3, wow, he's gone for him. But he did, and my God, you know what? We got the job done. And as you said, a certain man, 5 in 5, he scores when he wants. He scores when he wants. Brennan Johnson. He scores when he wants. I just said on We Are Tottenham TV on the fan show yesterday, not now. Do you remember last year when Pedro Porro scored a goal and he said he did that because it was the birthday candles flickering on his mum's birthday cake? Well, Brennan Johnson is on fire. Let's not blow these candles out. Mate, honestly, I will say very quickly with him, that shot that hit the crossbar, if that was 5 games ago, he's not even attempting it.
No.
Sorry, 6 games. He's not even thinking about it. It turned out to be a very, very vital goal. And it wasn't a tap-in.
No.
And it wasn't against the top 6 team. It was against a European team that made sure we got the 6 points and proved to be very vital. Because they went up and scored. But you know what? Ange has got it spot on. Yes, there were some shaky moments, whatever, but I'm surprised he made that many changes, especially to the front line. But they all did themselves the power of good. Mikey Moore was sensational for a 90-minute debut. Archie Gray, I agree with you. I think playing out of position twice and right back in Europe, you say 3 games, even though he has played right back predominantly for Leeds last season. Basuma looked great. Like I said, we will go into it, but the good thing is that's 5 wins on the bounce, winning it 5 different ways, 5 different selections. And again, we won the game. Wasn't brilliant. Second half, we were very exciting, but we got the job done. And people, I can like I said, I've understood people that want to say Ange out. I understand that that's the fans' opinion, but 5 wins in 5. You listen. You can still win him out, but you've got to give him some praise for going through that adversity and that choppy time. And now, mate, I find me another team that's gone 5 wins to the bounce.
I think only Liverpool.
No, but Liverpool lost to Forest.
Oh, they did, yeah, they did.
So in the Premier League, I think, sorry, the Premier League team and the teams that are in Europe, point wise and win rate, I think we are. Oh no, because I don't know if Arsenal won the filth. Have they won every game since they play? Who knows? But we are one of the most informed teams across all competitions right now. And well done to the lads. And well done to Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, definitely. I will have one criticism with him though. What I didn't like about this game tonight, and that was not the team selection, not team of Werner, but it was the fact that he had Porro inverting again. And for me, it caused all sorts of issues that game. You've seen them inverting fullbacks. He needs to leave them alone. Stop inverting any of them fullbacks. So much open space. You know what I mean? And it caused a little bit of issues. Overcrowding in the midfield. It didn't allow certain players a bit more freedom. I thought it limited players just doing that. And that's my only criticism. You know what I mean? Even the team of Verma selection, right? People are going to go after him. I understand that, yeah? Right? But I'm going to be a bit calm about this situation, yeah? He was dreadful. I'm not denying that. But this isn't a confidence thing for Timo. He in front of goal has pure fear. I don't know why, but it's pure fear. It's not even a confidence thing. He is scared. When he got that ball, his initial reaction was not to hit that first time. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And it blows my mind why a player like him on so much money is in that situation. I'm not going to slate him. I'm not going to, I don't want to do that this season. I criticize Brennan a lot. He's proved me wrong. I don't want to do that anymore. So Timo Werner is Timo Werner. Ange trusts him. Leave it at that. But as you've seen, when he missed that chance, Ange took him off. Mikey Moore went out to the left, who I still said should have started in that position. And Brennan came on. And I will say, I wanted to point out someone as well. Yeah. And, this is not to go into it too much, but a player I really like the look of, right? Who, again, young kid starting, right? But I thought he did very well. And that was Will Lancashire, right? Yep. Up front, I thought he was trying his best. You know what I mean? Yes, he didn't get any shots or anything like that, really. But he held his own at times against a really strong defense. You look at when Solanke come on. Solanke was bullied a lot in that game, and he's a big player, but he was bullied. And Lancashire, he held his own. And for me, I want to give him big props, because he was good. He was good. Him more. I thought Bergvall had a bit of a poor game personally for his standard, but Archie Gray, Mikey Moore, and Lancashire, mate, wow, just wow.
Yeah, well, what I'll mention with that as well, obviously, I'm not going to go into the players you mentioned.
No, of course not. No.
But what I do want to say is fair play to the Hungarian fans. They were absolutely non-stop. And Ryan Isaacs was there, and he said their fans are mental. Like in a positive way. They were non-stop. It's very, very rare you can't hear the Spurs fans singing, the away fans. And there was only a very small section that was given to Spurs fans. But when they were 1-0 down, when they were 2-0 down, non-stop, I can see why that is a hostile ground and a tricky place. You've got to remember that is a tricky place to go. And we've come through it. We're 3 points. And fair play to their fans. God knows what they were singing, apart from the only song we knew is when they're singing the team's name. But fair play to him.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the reason I did that is because apparently it's the first time an English club has won against a Hungarian team in 55 years.
Well, apparently, do you know the last? I heard Ariane on We Are Tottenham TV earlier. Do you know the last team to beat them at home in a European tie? That was a group stage, not a qualifying round.
Tottenham?
And Postecoglou Celtic.
Oh, seriously?
Apparently so. Yeah, I don't. It's what Ariane was saying. So,
if that's true,
stuff,
wow.
yeah.
Ange knows how to beat the Hungarians, like, you know what I mean?
We play you every week.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on for the game. Obviously, we'd love to talk about the game a lot, but Brian and Johnny will break this down massively over on Anger Management. So at 12 o'clock, go watch that because they will give you a full breakdown, their thoughts and everything. So yeah. So moving on, our director of football, our lovely man who seemed to have like not been existent since today when his quotes came out after doing a little interview, and that is Johan Lange. Came out and did obviously a little interview with a reporting company, whatever. I don't know who, but I've got some of his quotes here. And he hits back at suggestions. No player has been signed in my time at the club without us watching the player multiple times live and speaking with the player in person. We also do a lot of background checks, speak with other coaches, former teammates.
Sorry, mate, sorry. Sorry, I just got a message. I didn't really want to see. Go ahead, say again.
Okay, yeah. So a lot Johan Lange's suggestions about no players signed without obviously multiple times they've seen them live, speaking with a player in person, a lot of background checks, speaking with coaches and former teammates. So what they're saying is they do a full breakdown with the player. They speak to past players, they speak to coaches and everything like that. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, with that, you know, he's coming out and saying that they do extensive research on these players, you know, full breakdowns.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we know that the breakdowns are getting done. Listen, and Lange has come out and spoken, and it's been yes. Pause that for a sec. I've just got. We'll start that bit. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the brief interruption. As you probably saw, I had a message come through that was rather urgent and important I had to deal with, so I apologise. We're going to start this Johan Lange Levy bit again, and I do apologise for that interruption. But Dave, I apologise to you as well.
No, that's okay.
Let's get back with it. So Johan Lange's first statement was...
Yeah, so basically he's hitting back at the suggestions, right? That he says no player has been signed at my club without us watching the player multiple times live, speaking with the player in person. We also do a lot of background checks, speak with former coaches and former teammates. Now, when I read this, when you sent it to me, because Brian sent it to me, I actually kind of like hearing that, knowing they do extensive checks on these players, making sure they're coming from decent backgrounds, checking how they are like at teammates, and it makes for good reading, you know, for me personally, knowing that they're bringing in players who they definitely know are going to sit into this squad and fit with the other teammates, things like that, and knowing that this is how they're going to train, etc. like that. What are your thoughts on, obviously, Lange's comments?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, it was quite retweeted, wasn't it, on the David Pleat thing to try and shut down what David Pleat had said. So damage limitation, maybe. But maybe with Lange, things are changing, and this is what they're doing. Like you said, it's always good to get... Listen, we all know when managers go for jobs, managers speak to previous managers of that club. We all know that when players are on international duty or they're friends and they cross over somehow and they're interested in whatever clubs, people speak, which is fair play, which is what you're going to do. I think it has got more extensive since Johan Lange has come in. I still think it's a bit damage limitation from what David Pleat said, because I don't think David Pleat would say that just for no reason. So yeah, it is encouraging to hear that this is what they're doing, the extensive chats. And we'll see going forward what happens with this, because they've obviously got to start speaking to players and they're starting to build a strong squad. And hopefully the numbers, the data, the going out and viewing them, because apparently back before the deadline closed, we sent a scout out to the Wolves game to watch. I forgot the name of the Wolves player we were looking at, the midfielder. No, I think it was Gomez.
Gomez.
It was Gomez. So we are looking like we're doing it, and hopefully it's a change away for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, totally agree. Now, going on from this, there's going to be 3 sections. By the way, to people, there's going to be 3 sections, but it is 15 minutes, so it's the halftime team talk. Please like and subscribe. Again, it's you guys that make this channel. From the first members to the newest members, you are all making this channel what it is, and we appreciate every single one of you in it. Honest to God, I love looking at you guys in the chat, the way you speak, the way you conduct yourselves, everything. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I just wanted to point out a lovely comment we got on our last video afterwards, someone who said about the one who said about the opinions, saying our opinion is our own, your opinion is yours. And they appreciated that. And I want to just echo that. We're not here to try and change your mind on anything. We're giving our opinions on what we see throughout Tottenham and football, and we appreciate seeing yours. And no one's right or wrong. We just love having a chat with you guys and seeing you guys in the comments, being respectful to each other. We hope that carries on. So, yes, halftime team talk done. Unless you want to say anything, Bright, or do you want to leave it at that?
No, I completely agree with what you said. Listen, like I said, we have a platform where we come on and speak our views. And people will agree or disagree wildly or vehemently. Vehemently, is that even a word? It is now.
It is. It is now. Anyway, that's a new word.
But this is the thing. It's about opinions. We have a platform. We speak what we feel. We've been very outspoken, or I have been very outspoken on certain things. But I stand by what I say a lot of the times. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But this is what it's about. Having a great community to chat and get footballing opinions out. And long may it continue.
Yeah, totally agree. So Lange obviously came out in this interview again, and he said, we want to be a natural destination for the best talent out there. Now, for me, I like hearing that. But again, for me, that screams very young players. Yeah.
Yep.
Natural for the best talent out there. Yeah. Last window, if that was the case, last window, for me, we didn't get the best talent out there. Right? We got great players. This is not slating the players we got.
Yep.
I am loving the signings we got. They are really doing well for us. But for me, I don't think we got the best talent out there. But that screams to me young players. So the likes of, sorry, I forgot his name. The Korean kid. I do forgot his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I think it's the Korean kid.
The Korean kid.
Let me get the name.
Yes, please. Just so I don't offend anyone or anything like that. It's just you could tell when I said about the European team we just played, I can't speak their names. I'm useless. Yang Min Hook, yeah, right. Obviously, fantastic talent. That's what we're seeing, and this is what they look like. They're coming to get talents like that, right? So this is kind of telling the fans, look, this is what type of team we're going to be now. We're going to buy young, talented players and develop them within the squad. Okay, fine. If that's what you want to be, let's be even more honest with it. That was just a little thing he said. Came from Dan Kilpatrick. For me, be honest with it. If that's the type of team you want to build in Tottenham and that's the direction you want to go, I wanted to come out and say it, properly. I wanted to come out and say, this is where this direction we're going now. We're going after young talents across the world to bring into Tottenham, develop them, and hopefully create incredible teams. I mean, you look at some of the players we've signed, they're fantastic. The young players are desired. They want to go in, they want to perform. But also, we have a very good youth squad. We've seen that with Mikey Moore. We've seen that with Lancashire. And Andrew's comments after the game in Europe, he said, it's rare you get players like Yamel, whatever his name is, who, just spawn out of nowhere and have incredible football at such a young age.
Yep.
And I like what he said about Mikey Moore, but we got to focus on that as well. We've got to focus on our youth squad as well as finding talent out there. What are your feelings on his comment there, really?
Yeah, when you say the best talent, I think, does that mean the best talent at a price? A certain limit? Do you interpret it? Again, it's open to interpretation, isn't it? Because it could be, is it the best young talent, which Spurs have been doing, Spurs have been looking for, Spurs have been pursuing, but we can't keep living in the dream that the youth coming through, because we'll always be the carrot and the stick. All right, some big stars are coming through by the looks of it, But that formula is not going to work every single goddamn time. Like you said at the beginning, some of the buys are looking like very shrewd and clever bits of by Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
But for the first team, we want some diamonds, don't we? So we will see in upcoming windows, because since the last window, there'll be more funds coming into the club through all the ventures and events. There may be, we don't know, investment. So we'll see. But I'm hoping when it says we look to bring in the best talent, we'll end up paying off to be for the first team and not just the youngsters coming through.
Yeah, totally agree with that, mate. Totally agree with that. And again, this is another one from Lange. Ange and I have discussions all the time about the squad. It's far from only about transfers. But of course, when we come close to the window, it's about how we want to ideally end up after that window. Like, again, yeah, obviously that's, to me, that's what you should be doing as a director of football and as manager. Do you know what I mean? That shouldn't be a surprise. But for me, I don't think Ange was particularly happy coming to the end of the last window. I personally don't think. I think we could have done more better business in certain aspects, filled some other places where we're seeing, even in Europe, we're having to use players out of position to fill positions within the squad. That's not a good thing. Even though that player is performing very good and performing well, that player openly said he doesn't like that position. He prefers playing in the midfield, which is Archie Gray. Obviously, I'm going to point out him because he's the main one being shifted in positions and everything. But he's doing a job, which shows you the desire of a player, which is good. This is the type of talent they're looking at. Someone who's getting told, you're playing as a right back, you're playing in midfield, you're playing as a left centre back, you're playing as a left back, yeah? And he goes and he performs to the best of his ability in each of them positions. I love that from Archie Gray. I think that's fantastic. But it doesn't always work with young players because they're getting chopped and changed in different positions. They don't ever settle. You know, they're never settled in a position. You need players to settle in a position. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, you know, it's just one to gloss over quickly because, you know, that's what it should be doing, isn't it? A director of football and manager.
Yeah, of course. So we look at it. Like I said, one thing I will say very quickly about Archie is when you look at Archie Gray, I actually think playing in these multiple positions is actually going to strengthen him for when he plays the number 6. Yes, we know he played right back for Leeds predominantly. I don't know if he plays centre back at all for Leeds, but he's played pre-season and now this game. He's had spells at left back. I think he had a couple for Leeds, and I think all this knowledge that he's taking in is going to help him become the better player. Maybe when he's in that 6, finally his preferred position, he might spot danger.
Yeah,
left side. He might spot danger. Right side. So sorry, I started speaking so long about Archie Gray. What was the main crux of the comment again from Lang?
Well, first off, I will let you know that, yeah. But I've got to say, mate, yeah, I didn't even think of it like that. Fair play to you, mate. Look at that. Hey.
Hat rack,
it ain't all beauty, is it? It ain't all looks, is it? It's not looks. There's a brain deep in there. But yeah, it was basically Ange and obviously Lange having discussions, obviously, throughout the season. But when it comes to the window, they have obviously discussions of the window, how they want the window to go, and how at the end of the window they want the team to look.
I have to say, this is exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah.
This is like saying you're a greengrocer, please sell some fruit. You're an estate agent, please try and sell some houses. That's what every single football team should be doing constantly. And what I will say is recently, until Parachi came in at Tottenham Hotspur, you probably had absolutely no clue. I remember actually with Conte, when it was coming up to the January transfer window and Levy pissed off to the Bahamas. I was like, well, we're waiting for the list. We're waiting for this meet. It looks like, listen, this is just stating the bleeding obvious of what football clubs should be doing, in my opinion. But hearing it sounds wonderful. Seeing it is another thing. One thing I will say in favour of the club is we can't say that he hasn't been given money to spend. He's been given more than the recent managers, the managers that have won everything. And whether that's Ange saying, okay, will get these players, but they're not at the level and spending big on one big player or whatever. But this is the kind of thing they should be doing, and let's hope it's what they start doing.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, continue. Yeah, and just to echo that, mate, what you said before, it's not all beauty with dagul. There's cleverness up there, people. Remember that.
Well, you know that saying, beauty and brawn. I am definitely more beauty, brawn, and brains. If I'd say anything, get on the wrong side of me. I'm definitely more brawn than beauty and brains. It's a work in progress. A work in progress.
Work in progress. Work in progress. I like that. I like that. Work in progress. Right. So obviously we've heard Lange speaking about Ange, about obviously transfers and all that. Now, in the midst of this, a post was put up, obviously from Dan Kilpatrick, I think it was, but obviously retweeted by the Spurs Express, which was Lange mentioned, obviously, a certain individual who openly said he's going to move away from the football. We heard it from a lot of people. He's going to walk away from the football side and leave things to these people he spends a lot of money hiring and a lot of money in wages. That is our illustrious owner, Mr. Daniel Levy. Apparently, Lange said that, yes, they find the players, they decide the players, but a certain someone is still negotiating deals. Now, we had a little discussion about this, and Paul O'Keefe put up an actual decent comment, which at first I was very angry hearing about Levy and everything and negotiating still. But from what Paul O'Keefe says, I kind of agree with it after sitting down and thinking, which is, why would Lange be more qualified to deal with negotiations than Levy? Levy has a lifetime experience and relationships with the chairman. What exactly happens is when there's broad agreement, people step back and let the chairman thrash out last pieces. So this is obviously, Lange has gone in. He's spoken to the player's agent. He's spoken to the club. They've got everything set. Levy comes in and just drops the haymaker, and there we go. Deal's done. Okay, I like that. Yeah, we know Levy is a great negotiator at times. You know, he's had some dubious things. You know what I mean? He's, you know. But we've heard how ruthless Levy is. We've heard from many other chairmen how aggressive he is and everything like that, and how annoying he is. For me, you can look at it as a good thing. But I also look at it when you see them deals that have become non-existent when it comes to certain players. If Levy's there at the end, is he there alone with his chairman? Does Lange leave him? Because I have a feeling that at times Levy can go in and over-negotiate. So when it comes to a certain player, Lange has set it all up. It's already set there. Levy goes in. Oh, yeah, but what if I give you 10 million less? Or what if I add an extra 2 years onto the contract? You know what I mean? Or to the payment structure or whatever. And then talks break down or things like that. Obviously, I'm not a fly in the wall. I'm not sitting there while Levy's negotiating. This is just my opinion. This is not saying it's truth or there's any factual evidence to this. I just feel like certain times when negotiations should become easy, they become extra hard. And we've seen that many a times with transfers. I mean, the one that stands out and the one that everyone talks about is Josh Onomah and Jack Grealish. I mean, come on. That there, everyone knows that was the most pathetic thing ever. Offering Josh Onomah and 5 million for Jack Grealish at the time, who was purring, you know, it's kind of like, come on. So you see certain negotiating tactics from Levy. You know, we heard that he was going to step away from it. He was going to allow these people who spends copious amounts of money on deal with the situations within the club and transfers. Obviously, you're going to go more into this, Dagul. I'm saying parts of it's good, parts of it's terrible. I don't like Levy being around it, but I understand why because of what he does. What is your thoughts and take away?
I'm completely, well, put it this way, I understand what Paul O'Keefe is saying very, very much. When it gets to the nitty-gritty, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, he's over everything. And if even someone like me has to stand back and say that's fairly obvious. We don't live in the world where he just goes, here's 300 million or X 300 million, I wish. Here's 100 million or whatever. I've signed the blank checks. You just fill them out. He's always going to have the final say on that. I've said it before. This will never happen. But if Ilana and I ever got divorced, I want Daniel Levy to handle the divorce. Because I will get everything. I will get everything. Even though this is my mother-in-law's apartment, I'll get it. Everything in our house, I'll get it. If he went to it. We know this. What I do know is there are a lot of Premier League chairmen that just won't deal with him because of his tough negotiation. Or the problem I have with this whole thing, and I listen, Paul O'Keefe's bang on the money with what he said, by the way, bang on the money. When it comes to finances, why is Lange going to do the talking? When it would be like me saying the greengrocer earlier trying to sell the property, and the estate agent trying to sell the groceries. What I do get with it is how many players have we missed out on because we found a player, but Levy doesn't want to spend that much, or how many players have we lost because we can't agree the contract, we can't agree the payment schedule across the board. So when I first saw this, I was fuming. When the tweet first came out, Daniel Levy is still in control on. I was like, oh, you. Then obviously more and more filtered through. People take the snippets, take your step back, wait for it to come in. To wrap up, basically, we all knew he was going to be part of the signing off deal. There's no getting away with it. I just wonder how many players we've lost because of it. What I will say, when it's getting rid of players for the right amount, apart from the deadwood that have just been festering there, I'll go back to Kevin Wimmer. How he got 16 or 18 million from wherever he went to. I think it was Stoke. He went to Stoke. Yeah. How he gets these money for these players, sometimes it's like, how's he pulled that one off?
Yeah.
But I think he needs to relinquish a bit of. Well, we can't. We don't know the answer to whether he's heavily involved in when we've had a play. Let's just say Eze. Whether we're interested or not, has 70 million, one lump sum. Daniel Levy said, right, we're not entertaining it. It's too much money. I'm not spending it. Oh, but it's the player I want. No, not happening because we got this budget. Whereas when it comes to Solanke, okay, there's wiggle room. Now let me go to town and do what I do. So that's like the Eze people is where I'm worried that we may be losing out because of it. But there's no doubting, whilst he's still there, he is going to be doing what he does.
Yeah, of course. And we know this from our owner, he's been through it for years. And like I said, what we're saying here is our opinions. They're not factual. It's how we feel or what we think. Please, in the comments, give us your feelings on this and anything we said. Again, we value your opinion. And yeah, so moving on anyway. Some good news and some good news, not so good news for the person. But that's, I'll start off. Dominic Solanke, our illustrious striker, who is performing very well at the moment, has been called up to the England squad. Unfortunately, James Maddison, which I'm not that mad about, has not been called up. He's still there, Dagul? I think Mr. Dagul has crashed. So unfortunately, people, I'm going to pause it a second. This is fun. This is cool. I'm going to pause it a second and we'll be back because I think Dagul Internet has decided to go kaboom. This is Canadian internet for you people. If you're in Canada, don't buy Canadian internet. It's trash. So give me 2 seconds.
Welcome to take 3 of Morning Brews, the blooper editions. We've had an urgent text that I've had to deal with. Now an internet outage. Back to our scheduled program. And I apologize for all the viewers that are thinking, what the hell is going on? But we were speaking. The last bit I heard was a bit of good news and a bit of bad news.
Right, yeah. So basically, and also, as you crashed out, I told everyone not to buy Canadian internet because it's no good. But anyway, yeah. So obviously, good news. Solanke has made the England squad.
Yeah.
Bad news, but good news as well. How I see it is bad news and good news. It's bad news for Maddison, who obviously hasn't, unfortunately, been taken. But it's good news because I kind of like the fact that he's not going because I think we need to keep him as fit as possible because he's coming into a little bit of form.
Yeah,
he's fighting very well. He seems a lot fitter than what he has been.
Yeah,
and I feel like the international break could be good for him. Have a little rest, no risk of injury, and come back at a very important time, which will be to face West Ham, I believe. And I feel like, West Ham are struggling at the moment. They're still finding the feet under Lopetegui. And I feel like if Solanke couldn't go, I'd rather keep Solanke at home. These international breaks, we played 6 games of Premier League football We've had 2 international breaks. I find that utterly ridiculous. I find it pathetic that this is happening so early on in the Premier League. So, what are your thoughts on obviously Solanke making it, Maddison not, and your overall thoughts of obviously an international break again so soon?
Listen, I'll deal with that first. International break, there's no getting away from it. We know it's coming. It's never going to change. So there's not even worth getting frustrated about it because guess what? Nothing is ever going to change with that. Solanke, I'm absolutely over the moon for him. I put a tweet out when it was rumored. I said, you know what? Rightfully so. This hasn't been because of Tony going to Saudi Arabia. And obviously, when you go there, you lose a bit of your status. He's deserved this on merit. He's deserved, since he's come back from injury, I am delighted for him. Obviously, I would still say Ollie Watkins and Kane are above him right now in the pecking order. But just to be called back into the England squad shows the reward for his hard work and his 3 performances since coming back from injury. The Arsenal one, maybe not so much. But sorry, the 2 games then, Karabag and Manchester United. Oh, and Brentford. Sorry, the 4 games. The 3 games where we've won, he's had a significant part, whether it be goals, assists, his movement, his running, and just to get him back in the England fold. And what I will say is it just goes to show that when you're at the big team, you're going to get more favourably looked at. There's no getting away from it. But well done, Dominic Solanke, richly deserved. Whether Ivan Toney was here or not, I think he still would have got in. James Maddison, I'm actually happy he's not in the England squad. Like you said, it's giving more motivation to get into it. The last few games, he has been much, much better. But like you said, and he did it tonight, he only came on briefly, but he went down a couple of times because people were hacking at him. Let him stay at Hotspur way. Let him train ready for the return of the international break. Let him have that motivation, that spark. And let's see how you bounce back. He's bounced back in the right way so far from being kicked out or not selected in the European Championship squad. Well, hopefully this motivation can keep him playing the way he has and having a huge impact for Spurs. And I will say, the one thing I will say as well that I realised after I put that tweet is it's a lot harder for Maddison because there's a lot more players of his ilk and his creator, so to speak. Like he's got in that midfield, you've got your Bellinghams, your Fodens, your Grealishes. I could keep going on. Whereas up top, English strikers at the moment, you are looking Solanke, Kane, Watkins, Tony, and I can't think of many others. And obviously, you're not going to get above Kane.
No.
Watkins is playing well this season, so I think it's easier for Solanke to get back into the England squad for his position than it is Maddison. So hopefully, Maddison can use this as the fuel he needs to get himself in good shape.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, I think he might get some minutes, Solanke. I hope he doesn't get a lot again. For me, I've always been about the badge, the club, Spurs. Even when Wales play, you know what I mean? I love Wales. It's in my heart. I bleed red like that there. But if I can watch my club's team, players stay fit through a whole season and not get overplayed, then I'm taking that all day long because obviously I want us to win something. And the fitter your players are, the better it is and more chance. But anyway, on that note, we have gone over 8 minutes this time. We've cut it short, unfortunately.
And 2 outtakes.
I know, 2 outtakes as well. But we had some lovely comments about how long the show was yesterday morning. And obviously this one's a little bit shorter, but we hope you've enjoyed this content. Again, we are trying our best to bring out as best content. We're looking at new ways to bring new content towards you and for you to view. So again, to all of you in the chat, everyone who follows this, again, from our original members to the newest ones, you are all appreciated. You make this channel what it is. And without you, this channel will be nothing. We will be talking to literally no one. So
Correct.
we appreciate you all being there. So from me, and also, I just want to say we forgot about this. And I spoke to a lovely man, Sean Slater, today after the watch long we did. It was fantastic. Fantasy football. We haven't mentioned it for a while.
No, we haven't.
You know what I mean? We've been a lot busy. It's come out of our minds, and we had a lot of members in there. So I think on the next member show, dagul, obviously not tomorrow. Right. I'm away for a few days.
The week after.
The week after, on the member show, I'm going to do a little segment just to bring up the fantasy football, see where everyone's sitting, see how people are feeling about it and things like that. So, Sean, next Friday, I'm going to have a chat with you, mate, and we're going to get a list, get the leaderboard up, see who's performing in the fantasy, because I know my team's doing dreadful, mate. Honest to God, my team is doing dreadful. I get barely any points, and it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm going to do that on that show there. And from me, again, thank you all so much for joining us. Doma ni mind. Mr. Dagul, your final words.
Yep, you'll see us on Anger Management at midday UK time. You'll also see me and Ben Kaufman, if he's feeling better, on the fan show. But the fan show, the members show, will go ahead whether it's just myself or with Ben Kaufman. Dave, thank you for everything you've done. Enjoy your few days off that you're off next week. There will be a few more pre-recorded morning brews next week. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.